This is Mike Adebisi Vandriel with GameSpot at the NASL Season 3 Grand Finals. Currently speaking to EG, Idra and EG Incontrol, who have been here helping commentate the event. So, just to start off, guys, how has the event been going for you? Everything going smooth so far? What are your thoughts, initial impressions?
It's absolutely awesome. This is the first time I've been to a live event purely as a caster. It's pretty cool to experience the whole event atmosphere without all the stresses of playing. Being a caster, I guess it actually has some stresses involved with it, but my job's pretty easy. I'm the analyst. I just have to talk about the game. That's awesome. And the event itself is absolutely incredible. They've been putting on a good show. Definitely Season 2 finals. I didn't see Season 1 finals. Season 2 finals was a great show, but they didn't have any audience, and now the place is packed. And apparently they still have 1,000 unredeemed tickets, so tomorrow could be even crazier. It's absolutely awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we moved back and forth. We did an autograph signing where the line actually was starting to push around the building, which, Greg and I signed a lot of autographs, and it's really cool, but these are fans that haven't had a chance to go to like an MLG or an IPL, and they are showing their excitement. It's absolutely amazing. I mean, we talked about on Inside the Game and Stay the Game, and we knew that Canada had the potential to be an amazing fan base and an amazing place to run a tournament, but to see it happen and to feel the energy when you're up there on the stage, it's almost intimidating. I was like, damn, if I'm not excited enough or if I make a mistake, there's a lot of really enthused people out there, so it's been amazing.
Yeah, and just to add on to that thought, for you, Idra, I know, Incontrol has a lot of experience, public speaking, that kind of thing, but how have you been finding it being in front of that big crowd, and, do you feel comfortable? Did you hit a good stride?
That kind of thing has never really bothered me, even when I just started out as a player. My nerves generally come from me. I'm very internally focused and that kind of thing. So being up there in front of a bunch of people actually doesn't affect me nearly as much as even I would expect it to. I was just absolutely comfortable.
Oh, that's great. And so, you guys have both been involved, both commentating for the NASL as well as competing in it. And I think everyone would agree that's come a long way since Season 1. So, what are your thoughts of, just some of the progress NASL, the direction it's going, and just where you'd like to, see it continue to go?
The progress has been overwhelming. The first one, they had 6 people on their staff. It was just putting everything together from scratch. Russ wasn't from production or from StarCraft or esports, anything. He works in construction with his family. And so to come over from scratch and actually build up a league like this, and then in only 3 seasons, put on something that really it rivals an MLG or an IPL finals, a few less players, but the production quality, the experience, the audience, everything is up there on par with that. It's really incredible, and I only see it going up because they're making the right moves. They accept that they make mistakes, they look at them, and they try and fix them. They bring in more talent, they recognize good people, they give them more responsibility, and that's all you really have to do to keep growing. And I don't see that changing anytime soon.
I have a really interesting perspective because I worked through Season 1, I lived with Russ, I saw the stresses, we were under a lot of fire because we were making a lot of mistakes, and it was a really rough out-of-the-gate entryway for us. And to see it now, it really reminds me of middle school, 7th and 8th grade. You go away for the summer and the girls go, and then you come back and the girls are just a lot smarter in 8th grade. And I feel like that's the case with NASL. I didn't participate in this season. I was eliminated and I didn't qualify for it. And this time around, they're hitting their stride. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. They have a bigger staff. They have a beautiful stage. There's been the technical issues that every tournament has to deal with. There's not the cataclysmic sound guy stuff, and I really feel like they're going to a place where they could compete with the MLGs and the IPLs. And I think for all the criticism against them, to be here now and to have kind of gone through that fire and that storm, it's absolutely amazing. It's a great story.
And so just going back to you guys as commentators, you guys have clearly done a lot of stuff with the EG Masters Cup. And so how do you find, the in-studio stuff, no live audience? How do you feel that compares to, doing an event like this? Obviously, casting from replays, a lot of players and spectators find that not as exciting. So, what are your thoughts?
This is definitely more exciting, especially when you have an audience as enthusiastic as this. When they were cheering for Huck and we were backstage casting WCS, we actually just had to stop and let them go for a while because it was too loud for our microphones to pick us up while we were casting. And when you have that kind of energy flooding over you sitting up there on stage, that makes your cast much more enthusiastic, which particularly for me helps quite a bit. It's a very, very different environment, and I don't know, I hope my casting was good enough. I haven't done anything like this before. I don't really have a lot of standards to judge it by, without actually going back and watching it. So I hope it was good, but I really enjoyed it.
And just to quickly follow up with that, was this kind of coming in, doing a live event with this kind of audience, was it what you expected? Was it?
Pretty much, yeah. I have casted in front of an audience before, but a much smaller one, impromptu at IEM, Grand Finals. So it wasn't completely new, but the scale, the excitement, the energy level, it was just absolutely new. About what I expected, though, yeah.
And so in Control, I guess, I mean, doing NASL in studio, you obviously have a lot of experience with that. So just what are your thoughts on, a studio setup versus the live event?
I feel like in a studio, it's very much so, kind of like as a player. When you're at home, you're very comfortable. If you make a mistake, no big deal. You then are immediately accessible to your comforts, your own bed, that kind of stuff. Of course, a little bit different for casters. But at a live event, there's a little bit more on the line, as it were. If you say a joke that's not necessarily funny, or if you mess up and say something really bad, you're going to get a human response from you. So there's a little bit of that kind of tension. But overall, when they're so enthused, they're so excited, and they are such big fans that they really look at you as you could do no wrong, it's empowering. It just makes everything better. It makes the fights more exciting. It's that X factor. I mean, I think a lot of events have, you can even look at the MLG Arena, they talk about the lack of a crowd. When a big fight happens, there's no sound at all. The casters are going crazy, but people have seen that before. So I think if you can have a live audience, it's an amazing experience. I think if you can cast or play in front of a live experience or live audience, that's what we're pursuing. I remember as a player stepping out of the booth at an MLG and hearing the crowd just explode in support. Either win or lose. That's just an amazing feeling, and it's actually not that different as a caster because, again, you're an entertainer. You're here to make this a better experience for other people, and if you're doing a good job, they'll let you know about it.
And so, I mean, in Control, you're obviously going to Europe coming up. You're going to do the DreamHack Nordic WCS Finals as well as the Aces RG. But for Idra, do you see yourself commentating some more events, in the relative near future?
I still want to focus almost completely on playing. I obviously entertain roles as caster. It's a fun thing. It's something I think I'm pretty good at. It's something people obviously enjoy seeing me do. But playing is what I really enjoy. The competition is the reason I'm in esports, and I'm definitely not ready to give that up. So I'll cast when I have the opportunity, but mostly I'm looking to focus as a player. And
so far this event, unless I'm incorrect, you two have kind of been exclusively commentating together. Do you kind of see yourselves as a pair? And, do you think it's very important to kind of have a set duo and that kind of thing? And just, your general thoughts?
We can work with anyone. Obviously, him more than me, as he's more experienced and more versatile as a caster. But I enjoy casting with Jeff the most. I think we complement each other well. We're also friends for a really long time. And I think that's incredibly important. That's why Nick and Dan, Tasteless and Artosis, are so good. They're actually just really, really close friends. And whenever you see them banter up on stage, it's like two friends talking. That's why everyone. Excuse me. That's why everyone enjoys listening to them so much, because it is actually a fun conversation. And we have that to an extent. We also complement each other's strengths and weaknesses very well. I think it's just a really good duo.
Yeah, I mean, I would just echo the same sentiments. I mean, obviously, Greg is a tournament-winning player, so it's not going to be I traveled every tournament and commentate with him, and I still want to compete as well, so I'm not off the scene just yet. But when we cast together, we have the advantage of having the experience together, and, I mean, we live together, we talk together all the time, so you just able to have that rapport means like when we have to kill 10 minutes or 5 minutes in between games, we're able to do it really easily, whereas if I'm with somebody I don't know that well or haven't talked to that much, it gets to be more awkward, and then it all spirals downward from there. So that's just an example of why I think we're really good that way. But people seem to enjoy us, and as long as that's the case, I think it's really good.
All right, so do you guys have any, let's close off with some predictions then maybe for both, since you guys have been commenting so much of the WCS Canada, both WCS Canada and the NASL Finals. Maybe we'll start with In Control for this one.
I mean, you got to like Scarlett for WCS. She's been absolutely on fire, beating really good opponents. The WCS Canada has had amazing players, and yet she's made them look like a step below her. She's, I think, asserting herself as a world-class Zerg, not only in her 3-kill in the IPL-TAC, but also here, taking care of business like she's supposed to be. I think she's in the finals for the winner bracket side of WCS right now. So I picked Scarlett. Her opponent, anybody could come out of there. I mean, TT1's got to have good chances if he's still alive. He is in the loser bracket.
Yeah, he actually eliminated Huck. He's still alive.
We know about that. But that would be a good match, I think, as EVP there. And then as far as NASL is concerned, with Stefano winning and getting himself in the finals, I think it's a really good bet that he goes up against Rhett, and then I got to take Rhett in the final.
I'm actually going to mirror that pretty closely. I haven't seen Scarlett play, but I saw her play in the IPL-TAC and a few other games she's played online. She looks just really, really good. Like, there's nothing at all that's gimmicky or unusual or unique. She's actually just really good. Very basic play, which doesn't have a lot of holes in it. And that's a good way to win a tournament like this. There's no one with a lot of preparation specifically for her because everyone's looking at all the different players. And she's just going through some of the best players in the tournament and making them look pretty easy. Honestly, I'm not sure if her finals opponent's really going to matter from what I've heard of her play. I haven't seen it directly, but it sounds like she's going to go through anyone pretty easily. And then for NASL, Alicia really is not as good as Puzzle PVZ. Puzzle didn't play his best. He came in very, very late, so jet lag may have been an issue. He didn't play as well as he possibly could, and he chose some really weird, cheesy strategies. I think that was unnecessary risks by him. I don't know why he did that. I wish he hadn't, because his late game is so good, as we saw in Daybreak. But he is the better PvZ player than Alicia. Alicia not bad by any means, just not as good as Puzzle. And Rhett could deal with Puzzle, so I think he can definitely deal with Alicia. I like him for the finals. I would like MC over Stefano, but Stefano's up 3-1 right now. Had MC not made the terrible decision to attack on Belshir, it would be 2-2 right now. I do not comprehend that. But as is, 3-1 hole against Stefano. It's looking like Stefano versus Rhett in the finals. And neither of them like ZVZ. Neither of them practice it a whole lot. I think Stefano is much more adamant about not playing the matchup just because he dislikes it so much. So that's a bit of a disadvantage for him. But he has good instincts for the matchup, and then you have Rhett's macro. I think that'll be a pretty even fight. I don't really know who to give the edge to.
All right, fair enough. Well, thank you very much for the interview, guys. Any closing words, thoughts, whatever you want to say?
I'd like to thank all our fans and supporters who watched us, especially everyone who came out to the live event here at NASL. It's just been absolutely incredible. People, like, one of the most enthusiastic crowds I've seen maybe ever. A great live crowd. Also, big thanks to Team Evil Geniuses, all our sponsors, Intel, Monster, Steel Series, Kingston HyperX, Beyond Gaming, and Sapphire.
I would echo all those sentiments. The fans have been actually the best. And I just got back from Sweden where I was pretty sure those were the best fans. So I'm liking the slope. You know, MLG, it's not like they have bad fans either. But right now, it's Canada, man. They're absolutely amazing. They've been really supportive. I even got a chance to meet Combat X, and he's a sweetheart, that guy. So really happy opportunity. Big shout out to Rod. You know, it turns out you need a passport to actually get into a country. That sucks for him.
Even if you're on a bus.
Even on a bus. It's so weird. But yeah, we're also going to be doing a lot of events. There is the WCS Nordic coming up. I'll be hosting that. Asus, ROG as well, where Greg will be competing, and I will be hosting as well. So just, you know, support us, stick around, appreciate it, and thank you, everybody.
All right, well, thanks again for the interview, guys. Good luck commentating the rest of the event, and make sure you check out GameSpot.com for any additional NASL Grand Finals coverage.